Would you consider Jonathan Johnson a Goonie? Yes. What happened to Jonathan Johnson? Romeo killed him. Okay, let's take a step back, and can you talk about what precipitated or what happened before the murder of Jonathan Johnson between Jonathan Johnson and you? Yes. Please tell the ladies and gentlemen about that, of the jury about that. Okay, I had bought a 9mm automatic handgun from Big John, like, I don't know exactly what date it was, but that same day I bought a 9mm handgun from Big John. My house had got raided looking for that same 9mm handgun that I had bought from Jonathan Johnson. And when you say your house got raided, what does that mean? The police had raided my house looking for the gun. Who was in your house when the police came in? It was me, my mom, my girl, my son, my daughter, and my sisters and brothers. Was one of your brothers Alvin Vaughn? Was he there? No, he was not. Okay, continue. So the police come in. Well, let me ask you this. How do you know that they were looking for that particular gun? Because I thought like someone was breaking in or something, but I seen like a bunch of like flashlights and guns and stuff. So I knew it was the police. So they came in, they kicked down the door, kicked down the front, the back door, and they had a search warrant. And the search warrant had my name on it. And when they came in the house, they was asking my name and stuff. So I gave them my name and they said, we got our target, and they took me upstairs. Were you in fact arrested that day? Yes, I was arrested that day. For what? Possession of ammunition. Was the gun in the house? No, it was not. Okay. At some point, do you find out that Jonathan Johnson has been killed? Yes. The next day that I got out of jail, I found out that Jonathan Johnson was killed. And about how long was that from when you got arrested, if you remember? I want to say probably from when I got arrested, probably like 10 to 15 hours. Okay. Now, if you could, did you have a conversation with Mr. Blackman about the death of Jonathan Johnson? Yes. Do you remember when the conversation took place? Yes. When? Can you repeat, sir? Sure. When did the conversation take place between you and Mr. Blackman? I want to say probably like a week or two after the murder. Where were you when the conversation took place? It was on May. I was on May Street at my brother's house. Were you inside or outside? We was inside. And when you say we, who was present? Who all was there? It was AI, G-Wog, my brother, myself, and I forgot the other guy's name, but he passed away. And was Mr. Blackman there also? Yes. You say your brother. Which brother? Alvin. What, if anything, did Mr. Blackman tell you about the death of Jonathan Johnson? Okay, so it all came about because it was a gun. It was a gun and didn't nobody want it, and we are armed, so Judge, I'm going to pose an objection on foundation. I can't tell if he's relating something that somebody said to, or I'll sustain a non-responsive. Pose the question again. Can you tell us what Mr. Blackman told you about the murder of Jonathan Johnson? What Mr. Blackman said? Yes, so basically, he told me he was sitting in the hallway in the building of Racine, and he was at the door. He was listening to Big John and Zoe and Elon and PJ and all of them like talking about what they was going to do to him and do to some of us. So he was outside the door listening to their conversation, and Jonathan just so happened to be the first one to open the door and come out the door. So Romeo shot him. Did you believe him? Yes. How did that make you feel when he told you that? I felt kind of weak. What do you mean by that? Like I never wanted like anything to happen to Jonathan, and I felt like he didn't deserve it. Did you continue to hang around with Romeo? Yes, I did. Why? Could you explain to the members of the jury why you did that? Yes, I still was hanging around him and being around him because like we grew up with Jonathan Johnson like for a long time, and I felt as though, you know, if he could do that to him, he could do that to any one of us. And this is just for the witness, Your Honor. Go ahead. The government would move to admit Government Exhibit 1100. I don't think there's an objection. Any objection to the admission of Government Exhibit 1100? No. No, sir. No. In without objection, you may publish. What's in front of you is Government Exhibit 1100. Who is that? Zoe. Do you know Zoe's real name? Yes, I believe Alonzo Williams. How did you know Zoe? From being around him. Was Zoe a Goonie? No. Did Zoe hang around the Goonies? Yes. Who, if anyone, was one of Zoe's best friends? Big John. Did you personally have problems with Zoe? We had a little... Alright, keep your voice up. We had a little altercation, but it wasn't really nothing. Is Zoe still with us? Still alive? No, he's not. Do you know who killed Alonzo Williams? Yes. Who? Romeo and T. How did you find out that Romeo and T killed Alonzo Williams? Romeo was bragging about it. Okay. Now this conversation, was it in a conversation? Yes, it was a conversation. Face to face or over the phone? Face to face. Where did this conversation take place? On Aberdeen. Is that inside of a house or outside? We was outside. Who, if anyone, was present during this time? I think it was me, Romeo, T, and probably some of the shorties. Alright. Do you recall when this conversation took place in relation to Mr. Williams' murder? Can you rephrase the question? Sure. Do you know when the conversation took place? Yeah, we was on the porch. When? The date? No, I don't know the exact date or none of that. No, I do not. About how long after Mr. Williams, Alonzo, or Zoe died did the conversation take place? I say probably not that long, probably a week or so at the most. Okay. So now there's a couple of individuals there. So when we talk about this, I'm going to go who said what, okay? Correct. Okay. So what did you hear from Romeo Blackman, specifically Romeo Blackman, about the murder of Alonzo Williams? Okay, so basically he said it was him and T, and they wanted Zoe, so they was stalking him. And he said one day they was in a gangway on Elizabeth and they seen Zoe by almost towards the corner light. He said he pop out the cut, he started shooting. Zoe turned around and pointed his gun and I think shot, and then T started shooting. Now for those of us that don't know, you said he popped out the cut. Could you explain what that means? It mean he came out it's like off the side of someone's house, or out their gangway popped out the cut. Counsel, he's using pronouns. Can you ask questions so we know what he's referring to? Yes, sir. When you say he, who, okay, so let's take a step back. This is a conversation you had with whom? Romeo. When you say he, let's not say he or she. Let's use names. Is that fair? Okay. So when you say he said they popped out the cut, who said they popped out the cut? Romeo. Okay. Did you also have a conversation with T about the shooting? No. Basically, everybody was like credit Romeo for it. And T was like, well, I did it too, so they both did it. So you had a conversation with T where T said, I did it too? Yes. When did this conversation take place? This is the same conversation. Okay, same people were present? Yes. Same location? Yes. Same time? Yes. Okay. Judge, I'd like to show what's in evidence as Government Exhibit 1209. 1209 is an evidence you may publish. I'm showing you Government Exhibit 1209. Do you see that? Yes. Who is that? Raven. Who was Raven to you back on October 23rd, 2014? That was my girlfriend at the time. Okay. Do you recall on that date you being in a car when the shooting took place? Yes. Now let's talk about that a little bit, okay? Let me show you Government Exhibit 1207, which is in evidence. 1207 is in. Go ahead. Do you see what's in front of you as Government Exhibit 1207? Yes. Who is that? Lala. Do you know Lala's real name? I believe Quante Hayes. Okay. Was Lala a Goonie? No, he was not. What gang was he a part of? ETG. And what does ETG means? Elizabeth True Gangsters. Was there any relationship between Goonie and ETG? Yes. And what was that relationship? Explain it to the members of the jury. Basically, it was like some of the older guys like we looked up to that like gave us drugs and guns and stuff. Was there a time that you were in a vehicle where Quante Hughes was a shooter? Yes. Well, let's talk about that. I want to direct your attention to October 23rd, 2014. Can you tell us where you were sometime in the middle of the day? Yes, I was on 70th. I was on 70th in Aberdeen. And what were you doing there? It was me, Romeo, Tuka, and a bunch of the Goonies. We was like outside just like parlaying. Did there come a time where you guys got together to do a drill? Yes, Romeo and Tuka had went out to go steal cars. Did they come back with a car? Yes, they did. What kind of car was it? It was a minivan. Your Honor, just for the witness. Go ahead. Your Honor, the government would move to introduce Government Exhibit 1276. I don't believe there's an objection. Any objection to admission of Government Exhibit 1276? No. No, sir. No. It will be admitted without objection. You may publish. Thank you. Mr. Vaughn, what's that? That's the van we was in. Now you stated that someone came back with this van. Is that right? Correct. What was the purpose of this van from what you know? Basically, when we go out and shoot at people, we use stolen cars. And is that what you were planning to do on this day? Yes. Why? Because we feel as though the driving will be better than walking. But why are you going to shoot at an opposition gang members on this day? Because you was into it, and they come to us, shoot at us, and we go shooting at them. Were you looking for a particular opposition gang member? No, we was not. So when the van comes back, could you just explain to us of what, if anything, happens next? Yes, once the vans come back, Tuka's driving a van. Romeo pulled up in the car with Jazzy and Marco, so we all sitting around loading up, getting ready to go slide on the ops. When you say loading up, what does that mean? Like piling up, getting the cars and stuff. And just so we're clear, when you say go slide on the ops, what does that mean? Basically, like go shoot at the ops. Were there other cars out there that day? Yes, there was. Whose other cars do you remember being out there that day? I remember it being Marco and them car out there, Raven car, and it was about 2 more other cars. I can't recall. Okay, which car did you get into? I got into the minivan. Why did you get in the minivan? Because Romeo wanted me to. Who else got in the minivan with you? Lala and T and Romeo. And if you could, for the members of the jury, where was everyone sitting? Romeo was driving. I was in the passenger seat. Lala was behind me. T was behind Romeo. Did anyone in the car have firearms? Yes. Who? T and Lala. And where were they seated? Behind me and Romeo. In the back seat? Correct. How, if you know, did T and Lala get those firearms? Yes, we had the firearms. We had the firearms already. And then when they pulled back up with the van, it actually supposed to have been me and T supposed to have been shooting. But Lala has said he wanted to shoot. So I gave my gun to Lala. And after you gave your gun to Lala, where did you go? I gave my gun to Lala because I tried to get out of not getting in the van, and I went to the car to talk to Raven. And Raven was your girlfriend at the time? Yes. Where was her car parked? Her car was parked probably 2 cars in front of the van. Was Raven going too? I was trying to hide her, trail him. I was going to get in the car with her. So you say you were going to try to have Raven trail the car? Yes. Why would you need another car to trail this minivan? Basically, so if the ops get on us or the police get behind us or something, they can probably or stop their car or something so we can get away. And you were personally trying to get Raven to do that? Yes. Why? Because I was actually trying to get it for myself because I was trying to get out of riding in a car in a van with Romeo and them. But Romeo was consistent, even though I did give Lala my gun, he said, well, you still riding with us. You ain't getting out of this. So hold on. Let's continue along with Raven. Did Raven know what you guys were going to do? Let me ask you this, a better question. Did you tell Raven what you guys were going to do? Basically, just telling her, just trail us. But you knew that you were going to look for somebody to kill, is that right? Correct. Did you tell Raven that? No. Okay, so you're in this minivan that's in evidence as 1276, is that right? Correct. Who is driving? Romeo. Are cars behind you? Yes. Where, if anything, does this minivan go? Okay, we come from Aberdeen and we went up racing to like 73rd. It's like 72nd, 73rd. Did you keep driving? We got up racing. Romeo bussed to the right. He turned to the right and went straight down the street. If I show you a map, would you be able to show us the direction that you went? Yes. Your Honor, this is just for the witness. Go ahead. This is Government Exhibit 1201. I don't believe enter it into evidence. I don't believe there's an objection. Any objections to the admission of Government Exhibit 1201? No. No, sir. No. It will be admitted without objection. You may publish. Thank you, Mr. Vaughn. I want you to look at this map and look at the streets. Can you tell us where this caravan started? I really can't. You got to keep your voice up. I really can't tell, but I can tell you the way that the route we went, because I really can't Okay. So let's do that. Which route did you take? Okay, we was on Aberdeen. We came up, turned right, went up. What's the name by Aberdeen? Carpenter. And then we got to Carpenter. We made another right and went straight to 71st. Once we made it to 71st and racing, we made a left. We made a left and went to 72nd. And then we turned right, went up Romeo block where he stays, and where he stayed, and we kept going straight. We kept going straight, and we passed. As we kept going straight, we passed Loomis, and as we passed in Loomis, we in between Loomis and I believe Bishop, and as we driving, we see a gentleman. Okay, so this route that you were taking, what are you looking for? We're looking for opposition. Where are you going in this Goonie territory that you're driving in, or opposition territory that you're driving in? No opposition. And as you're driving this route, did you see any opposition members? No, until we seen someone. And what was this person that you saw? What was he doing? When I was looking, we was driving and I seen him getting some bags from a van. Did you know him? No, I did not know him. Was he in opposition gang territory? Can you repeat that question? Sure. Was he in opposition gang territory? Yes. When you saw this person, what if anything happened? So we driving, we see someone. I see someone got out the driver's side. He's fat, heavy-set guy. He walked, and then it was a skinny guy with dreads. Romeo that's one of them. When you said Romeo said that's one of them, what does that mean? That's one of the ops. And what, if anything, happened at that moment? At that moment, Romeo stopped the van. When he stopped the van, Lala slid the door back. He fired. Did anyone else fire? But after Lala fired, he was trying to slam the door back. As he was slamming the door back, T fired. Did you know if a bullet struck the person that was there? Yes, T shot Lala. What about the guy that's standing outside the car? After Lala shot him, I just seen his body just slide down the van.